Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today's video is going to be a March bullet journal setup and plan with me, which I'm really excited about because this month's theme is tulips. They're my mom's favorite flower and purple is her favorite color as well, so I decided to do purple tulips, which I'm really happy about. I ended up choosing these Tombow dual brush pens as the main color of this theme, and I really liked it. For the cover page, I'm just drawing 4 huge tulips with 2 different designs. However, I did end up just choosing one of the designs for the rest of the spreads, which were the more circled and closed leaf tulips that you can see in the middle. But yes, I just ended up drawing the tulips in different sides to add a little bit of movement, and I liked how it ended up being, I don't know. And also the leaves of the tulips point more upwards and more towards the actual flowers than outwards, and so yeah, if you want to draw tulips, that's kind of how the leaves go. But I really like how it turned out. I'm also adding this vase at the bottom to give it a nice base for the tulips and to add a more subcolor, I guess. I'm also adding in a quote page on the left side. I really like doing these for motivation. I've been doing quote pages that are integrated into my cover pages since I first started bullet journaling, and it's just a part I really enjoy looking at. This quote that I chose is by Leo Tolstoy from his work Anna Karenina, which is an intimidating piece that I'm dying to read. Now here I'm just coloring it in. I'm sorry about the baby hairs. I did not know you could see those, but I promise that later on in the video it gets better and you can not see them anymore. For this monthly view page or calendar, I'm using my Sakura Pigma Micron in 04. For any doodles that you see throughout this video, tulips, vases, and leaves, I use the Sakura Pigma Micron in 01. I like thinner tips for doodles and thicker tips for more calendar squared related things or boxes and things like that. I'm adding more tulips on the sides. I really like having a lot of doodles around my pages. Sometimes I don't really like the blank space. I'm also adding this rectangle for next month's events. I like this preview. I think it has worked great in the past, and so I'm really excited that I added it in. And now I'm using this the Sakura Pigma brush. That was the first time I was using it, and I did not end up liking it. It's supposed to be very flexible, and I think it is, but it comes off as too soft. If you like softer tips for brush pens, then this is the color is great. It's just the tip is just too soft. I prefer tips like the Tombow Fudenoski pens, which are a little bit harder and great for beginners. I feel like those are softer brushes aren't really great for beginners because they can run through really quickly. I also did not realize that I was not recording when I did my goals of the month spread. I thought I was recording, but I guess I wasn't. If you want to see how I end up doing my goals of the month spread, then you should check out my Instagram, because I just do reels with that kind of content over there, and I'm planning on doing it very soon. So if you want to check that out, follow me on Instagram. It will be linked down below. And for my productivity tracker, I'm basically drawing 1 tulip per day. When I thought of this, I was like, wow, that's gonna be a lot of effort, and it was, but at the same time I really ended up liking how it turned out, so I just stuck with it. I'm also adding shelves to give a little base to the tulips and vases, so just shelves, adding more shelves. And since my February theme was bookshelves, I'm kind of used to just drawing shelves but by this point. I'm also coloring, filling in the petals with the date number, and I really ended up liking how it turned out. I'm also just coloring in the leaves of the flowers as well as the vases, because I want the complete spread to be very colorful, and I want the part that I wanted to stand out are the flowers, and I feel like coloring it in will give me just more motivation also to just fill my trackers out. I'm using the same brown that I've been using. It's a Crayola Super Tip, so they don't have like labels of the colors, but it's the lightest brown of the set, and I'm just filling that out. I ended up really liking how it turned out. I try to do different shapes and sizes for the vases, just so that there's a little bit of like difference in movement and a dynamic in the spread. So I'm just doing that. I did do this while watching The Office, so the time flew by. That's my favorite TV show right now. It's amazing. Anyways, for the shelves, I'm coloring it in with a Stabilo pen. In the tip is 68, so it's a little bit like a marker tip, and the color is 45. It's a darker brown than the Crayola Super Tip. I wanted to differentiate. I just thought that it ended up looking really cute, and I also added a key on the right hand side at the top. I always do lighter color for most productive and darker colors for least productive, because darker colors remind me of like gloomy weather and gloomy moods. I don't know why. But now I'm moving on to my trackers of the month. First, I'm doing my sleep tracker, and I love integrating the themes of the month into my titles for my spreads. And so here I just did one tulip per letter of the word sleep. I'm just adding the days of the month vertically and horizontally, the hours of the day, and I'm coloring in those tulips so that I can later on with a fine pen write in the word sleep. For that, I did use a Sakura Pigma Micron in 08, just because thinner tips aren't really noticeable when you color something in, especially the darker purple. So with this thicker tip, it's more noticeable. And now I'm also doing my habit trackers. This is a different title page. I ended up liking the sleep tracker title more, but I thought that was really cute too. And I'm just adding the petals on the sides. And again, this is just the Tombow dual brush pen in 676 and 606. I really liked how just the tulips look together. I feel like the color contrast is really nice. I really liked it. And now I'm doing one calendar kind of square thing, rectangle thing for each habit that I want to follow through. I've done this for the past 2 years and it's worked great. I'm doing this with a Sakura Pigma Micron in 04. I'm never gonna get tired of saying that, just because they're my favorite pens to use for bullet journaling, and I'm just writing down the habits. Most of them are integrated into my routine for morning and night, but I prefer just writing it down to remember and remind myself of them. I just have a little boost that I completed something throughout the day. And I leave one blank just in case I come up with a habit that I want to follow through in the beginning days and that I didn't think of before, and so I'm just doing that. And I'm also adding a drop shadow. I ended up doing the drop shadow and highlighting with the darkest purple and in the Tombow 606, but I ended up not liking how it turned out. I feel like I can barely even see the habits, but it's okay. I mean, it's done. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm gonna be filling out these trackers with a mild liner, a purple, not the lightest lavender purple, but a darker one. Now this next spread is a media consumption spread. I saw someone on Instagram doing this and I thought it was so creative, so I'm doing it as well. Here I'm just gonna be tracking what movies and TV shows and how much I'm reading every day of the month, I guess. I've been really into just not necessarily mindfulness, but living in the present, and I feel like sometimes we just forget the movies that we're watching or TV shows that we're watching because we underestimate them. That I really want to be more like conscious of what I'm consuming, especially TV shows and just movies, and so I'm doing that. And I'm also adding petals towards the bottom of the spread just to add a little bit more of coherence throughout the different spreads. And I ended up liking how it turned out. I'm also using 2 columns to write each day of the month, as well as labeling the different hours. I ended up doing just maximum 5 hours of reading. If I end up doing more, I'll just put a plus. And now I'm moving on to my weekly spread. If you want to see how I do the rest of my weekly spreads for the month of March, then you should follow me on my Instagram, because every Sunday I post a reel with my weekly spread of how I'm doing it and things like that. I love doing goals of the week in each weekly spread because it just helps me organize my goals and myself better. It's just a spot to kind of have more ambitious goals, and then throughout the week add tasks to complete those. I'm also adding events of the week just because I did this last week and it really helped me to see have a clearer outlook of what I have that week that is just, really important, and differentiate it between the tasks. And I'm also adding 1 tulip per day, because inside of each tulip I'm going to be labeling the date of the day, I guess. That didn't really make a lot of sense, but anyways, I'm also adding next week's portion and notes. The next week is a great preview for what's to come, and notes is just great if someone recommends something to me or says something to me, or I have to remember a certain date. It's not necessarily an event, I just have to remember something and to plan it out next week and things like that. And I'm just coloring in these petals as well. I fairly enjoyed a lot this weekly spread. I feel like larger boxes are great for tasks, and it's just I do have really big handwriting, so I feel like spreads like these really help me out. And I like integrating doodles, so I don't know, it just gives me enough space for what I want to do throughout the week and what my to-do lists and things like that. I'm really happy with how it turned out. I did end up fixing some things off camera after I filmed this video, actually a few days after I filmed this video, just because it wasn't looking the way I wanted it to. But yes, I loved also this green color, darker green Crayola Super Tip color that I used. I thought it was really pretty, and I do want to do more floral themes this year. I feel like they always come out really nice. I'm also using the really soft tips or soft movements to do these fine calligraphy. I did not end up liking how it turned out. At the end I just brushed it off, not brushed it off, but just used the brush tip to do a brush through it, and then with my fresh pen, I ended up doing calligraphy over it and labeling it like that. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this month's plan with me, and I hope you decide to stick around and subscribe to my channel and follow me on my social media, which will be linked down below. Thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day.